And we are live on the S Files. I'm Chris Cordani, the usual sidekick, the Ed McMilkman. And I call myself the Ed McMilkman because, as you know, I'm a sidekick who always delivers. But I'm out front today because Tony is out and about. He is in the middle of somewhere, and he'll try to pop in if we can pull this off. But there's a lot to talk about. First off, the rise of Zoran Mamdani, or Mamdani, however you want to pronounce it, Mamdani. There are some severe issues to his campaign, and they are following him. It looks pretty rough for him in the future. Does Curtis Sliwa have a path to victory? We're going to be talking about that. We have Robert Spencer with us at 12:30. Well, as the show moves forward. With me right now is one of my favorite people and one of my favorite guests of all time, and actresses too, the great Susan Olsen. Thanks for being here, Susan.
Thank you for having me. You really got to paint that outhouse. I'll help you.
I think we should. Let's make it an outhouse painting party. What do you think? Canary yellow?
Yeah. We can make it all psychedelic, like they used to do in the 60s.
Ooh, I like that psychedelic 60s architecture. I'm into that. Except if you've ever been to where I'm from, Orange County, New York, there is this building called I guess it was the county seat building. It looks like a bunch of shoe boxes that were piled up and arranged in a weird way. It was designed, I guess, early 70s when these architects were on some kind of acid for a couple of years.
I wish they'd take it again. Architecture these days is so horrible. Everything's looking as bad as the Obama library.
Oh, well, it probably looks as bad as the Obama basketball court now, too.
Well, it's like we can't have nice things anymore.
No, we can never have nice things. As a matter of fact, we do have one nice thing. I promise you that. Cousin Vinny, who's joining us today, too.
Hey, how you doing, Susan?
Good.
How you doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Wow. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of you.
Yeah. Well, I see you on Facebook, right?
Yes. Very nice.
With smart things to say.
Yes, thank you so much.
Or at least you agree with me, so that makes you smart.
That is exactly smart. Now, we're talking about having an outhouse painting session. I believe we can sign the order via Autopen. I can get somebody else to do it. But here's what's going on right now.
Get the Autopen to paint it.
That's right. Here's what's going on right now. And again, we're going to have Robert Spencer on to talk about Zoran Mamdani and what's going on in New York City. We're going to do a little bit of. We are going to talk about the elections, by the way, coming up too. I do want to ask your opinions on what's going on here. And Susan, I don't know how you guys could get stuck with first Gavin Newsom, then Katie Porter, but we'll get into that. Representative Jordan talked to Newsmax recently. Says the Biden Autopen orders raise serious red flags. Donald Trump says, you know what? He was probably not even all there, and maybe didn't even give real permission while mentally competent to anybody to use the Autopen. So therefore, there's a good possibility these pardons for Hunter, Schiff, and the like are null and void. Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, all I care about is Minnie Mangala, Fauci. Hunter's got his own demons. I don't know. I just wonder if we're ever going to see any justice really served to anybody who's on the left. It seems like they're all made of Teflon.
Well, that's absolutely true. The thing is, are we going to see any charges against these people? I still would like to see a lot of these executive orders, or at least an investigation into these executive orders. Who was really signing these? I want these people exposed more than anything. I understand.
Yes, just exposed.
Right, just exposed.
I mean, it's like I've given up on thinking that Hillary will ever go to prison. But the fact that she can still show her head in polite society is not okay. She should be everywhere she goes.
Well, sometimes I'm thinking about, this has been going on since 2016, and this has been like one big military operation. So we have really no idea if these people are still around, and we're looking at AI at its best, or because a lot of people can't handle it. If you throw everything in their face, 1, 2, 3. I mean, look now. I mean, the SNAP and EBT. I mean, the majority of people that are on that are illegals, and
Well, look,
are
there are.
illegals.
I want to get to SNAP for a minute. We're going to talk about that, and there are some people who seriously need SNAP.
Yeah.
There are people who
Yes,
are in a position,
then
there's
get
an
it.
employment situation, and it's important they should get that. But there are a
Yes,
load of
I
people,
agree.
and there are a load of people, and I do believe a good number are illegal, but there are a lot of people who are using the system and not bothering working. They've been on SNAP for several years, over a decade possibly, and they they don't care to find work. They don't care to do anything else. That's an issue too. But it's hard to make the people who really need it and really want to get back into the force, or those who are handicapped, those who are disabled. It's hard to not give them what they need and find a way to weed out those who are cheating the system.
Well, I mean, look, these people, not all these videos are going crazy about how they're going to rob Walmart, how they're going to do this, how they're going to do that, and meanwhile they're holding a $1,400 iPhone.
Yeah.
How did you get
Yep.
a $1,400 iPhone on EBT and Snap? I mean, come on, and then you. There was one girl that made a video. She took her kids to Walt Disney using her EBT and Snap
How do you do that?
That's right. This is
because they sell their coupons
Yep.
for cash.
Now, this is called the SNAP-pocalypse. I believe that's what you're referring to. That's what it's being called on the internet with all these the young people. I would say the young folks. But
Yeah.
we call it I guess they're calling it the SNAP-pocalypse, where the idea is there are going to be people who have been on TikTok yelling, "We're gonna steal. We're gonna go into Walmart. We're just gonna take everything. It's gonna be a massive food riot." That, my friends, is serious. This
Yeah.
could happen.
I don't think they're going to
Yeah.
do that. Because that's stupid even for them. But I would say, people, be very careful walking out to your cars, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to get people that are coming out of the markets with their baskets full.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
groceries
You're
all
right. You're right.
And look, it has been said on I guess TikTok, if you want to call it that. It has been said, my friends, it's all over X. There are people who are just videotaping themselves saying, "Yeah, people are going to be robbed. We're going to rob you," that sort of thing. Of course, that's giving yourselves up before you commit the crime. But again, this is going to be serious. They can't arrest everybody. Let me tell you something. There's a pretty good chance the stores, the shopkeepers, are going to say, "Oh, that's not our problem. It's out in the parking lot."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I just I don't know. There's so little honor in people anymore. It should be that anybody that posts something like that, whoever recognizes them. I mean, I'm not into tattling or reporting.
Oh, they
That
tattle on
Brady
themselves.
Bunch really screwed me
No
up.
talent. No talent.
I
No
definitely
talent.
don't do that.
You know what happens to snitches, right, Vinny?
But
I remember that episode. No talent, Cindy.
I keep secrets in the pyramid now. It's to be that callous, to be so bold. I just saw a podcast that I guess I am a tattletale. I reported it today. Yeah, it's called I've Had Enough. And they're calling for violence against MAGA and violence against Democrats that don't join in on violence against MAGA.
Well, I think you're going to have a very hard
freedom
time.
of speech, but when you start encouraging people to be violent with each other, your First Amendment goes bye-bye.
Well, keep in mind, Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals had dictated to those on the left to demonize your enemy, make them, turn them into non-humans. Don't normalize them, if you will. That's the term being used today. That's where Jimmy Fallon got into trouble with the noogie on Trump's head. Hey, you normalize Trump. Well, they're trying to normalize men playing women's sports if they put a mop on their head and look like a woman, or try to look like a woman. I'll digress from that. I got to tell you, Why a lot of these young people are trying to emulate Klinger? I got to tell you, what? They're mediocre athletes. They want to go into girls' locker rooms. Fine. This is what they're normalizing, but they're also trying to denormalize those who think differently. Those who it's been a successful run saying, harass people who support Donald Trump. You should not let them breathe. There were sitting Congress members saying things like that, like Maxine Aunt Esther Waters.
Yeah,
she should have been fired for what she said.
Oh, again, she's in one of those glass of water districts, as what's her name? As Nancy Pelosi said, it doesn't matter who's there running with a D on her name, they're going to win. And people are ignorant when they vote for people like this.
Well, we have no lack of ignorant people here in California.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they did vote for Gavin that many times. Although yes, we have Hollywood, but it's hard to believe that the whole state is that stupid. And I really do think that there have been some shenanigans.
Well, that brings us to the next question. Now, first off, you guys might be stuck with Katie Porter. That's one thing. Secondly, Donald Trump wants to have these poll stations watched in a lot of these areas. California is part of that. Gavin Newsom comes out and says, you're going to rig the election. My question to you is Gavin Newsom saying to Donald Trump that he wants to rig the election by making sure there's no cheating?
Yes, that's what Gavin is saying, because what Gavin's really saying is you're cutting back on my ability to cheat. I mean, that's all the Prop 50 is about. And people out here are stupid enough to vote yes on 50, and they'll vote yes on it for one reason. It's going to hurt Trump. Well, it's really not going to hurt Trump, but they'll do anything to hurt Trump. It's Trump derangement syndrome. And I'm getting really sick of it. Yeah,
it's orange man bad syndrome.
Yeah, did you see some lady ordered something from Amazon? This is true. You can look it up. You can Google it. And what happened? And this is in California. Somebody in California ordered something from Amazon. Her box came. When she opened the box, there were all voting ballots in there, mail-in ballots. It was I don't believe it was in the box. We opened it and they showed stacks and stacks of mail-in ballots. They're cheating already. They're starting already.
Well, there were mail-in ballots missent to the wrong places. There were addresses that didn't exist. This is all documented, by the way, from the 2020 election.
Oh,
yeah. There were people who got multiples. And I will say this one more time because it just bears repeating. Sunny Hostin, because she's a Democrat, she could go on her The View, whatever they call it, the chicken coop, and just say, hey, I committed voter fraud and get away with it. She brought her son's absentee ballot in as she used her son's absentee ballot and submitted that. She shouldn't be doing that. Nobody, again, the idea that the 2026 elections will likely see the end of these mail-in ballots, the willy-nilly mail-in COVID rules ballots. We'll see a less of a chance for ballot harvesting. We'll see a watched poll stations in certain areas because to monitor potential cheating. This is going to be devastating for the Democrats, which, by the way, I don't mind.
Yeah. And what is Gavin saying? Gavin's saying, he's saying, we're planning on cheating. I mean, if you're not cheating, what's the problem? What's the problem having these boxes monitored? They should be monitored.
Yeah, I think mail-in ballots. I think President Trump is putting an end to all of it.
Yes,
to all of it. I really think so. And honestly, with this government, I think it's going to be closed for a long time. This was part of the plan in order to change the system and remove the corruption in the elite and everything else, and the central banks going after the Rothschilds and everybody else because they want to destroy America. Now
they do.
Like, and I did research that. I mean, that Trump keeps saying they have everything. They have everything on all of them.
But
on all of them, and they're all going down.
The good thing is they're losing, and they're losing worldwide. Agenda 2030 is dying. And here's a big one. Argentina handed a huge victory to Javier Milei's libertarian-leaning party.
I love him.
I love how Javier Milei's a rock star. And did you see him sing a couple weeks ago? I love it. It's great. He is.
Him and his chainsaw.
I love the chainsaw.
Yeah. You see him running outside the building, and the security, and he's slapping everybody's hand. They were all cheering when he ran outside the building on the video. You know, and it's amazing how President Trump is making peace all over the place. All over the place.
They hate that.
I love it.
He's dictating peace.
Make Argentina great again. Absolutely fantastic. But Javier Milei is very important because Argentina, as you know, was left near communist leaning for a very, very long time. We are seeing, we're in the middle of a big turnover. The globalists are trying desperately to keep any little semblance of power they have. But
they're winning, though. Look at England. I mean, that kills me. As much as my DNA is from Norway and other Scandinavian countries, my heart is from England. You know, I grew up with the Beatles. All of my rock stars were British. Everything wonderful and magical was from England. And watching that country go down, and watching somebody like Keir Starmer and somebody like King Dumbo being fine with it.
King Charles.
And I'm even angry at William. I mean, I know that they're not supposed to get political. Well, Charles has. Charles has gotten political by bending over every time he can to kiss Islamic ass.
I'll tell you something. Charles has been political for a very long time, Susan.
Yes.
He was one of the first people to mention the New World Order. Publicly, of course.
Yeah. And I just, you know, I'd love to see William do something. I'd love to see somebody do something. I cannot believe that we are watching this country, the whole UK go down, and all of Europe is going to go down.
Yeah, the UK is going down like an intern in the Clinton White House.
Yep. Yes.
Did you happen to see this guy? He does these videos. He's from it sounds like from Ireland or something. He's a young kid with black hair, and he's talking about the Q post and this and that, and he keeps saying we're just watching a movie, but nobody's realizing what's really going on and who are the main actors and the characters in order to take down the cabal and the elites.
Well,
I mean, just look at like Charlie Kirk. I mean, look at the movie Snake Eyes that they're bringing up. If you look at the movie Snake Eyes, it's the same thing. What happened with Charlie Kirk, with Nicolas Cage? It's the same thing.
Huh.
The shooter was the same name, the first name as the shooter in the movie in Snake Eyes. And he said, watch it.
You could also say that the Reagan shooter was had the same last name as the greatest American hero. Yeah,
I mean, a friend of mine happens to be one of the publishers for George magazine, and the first print that was ever out was The Deception of Survival that JFK wrote. So sometimes I know people think I'm going crazy, but you never know. I mean, a lot of people are faking their deaths in Hollywood. A lot of people are doing this. A lot of people do. I mean, look at Bob Joyce. How does he have the key to Graceland? Yeah, he goes in and out of Graceland by himself.
You're killing him with these rabbit holes there. These are things worth checking out.
I'll ask Priscilla.
No, but look, there's a lot. Listen, there's a lot of things in the world that we can't understand because we're not in that bracket of power.
Right.
And these people could do whatever they want.
Well, let's get to this because you're right. These people can do whatever they want in a lot of ways, but as far as being able to do this blatantly and take right over, they're having a lot of trouble. The people have been fighting back. Honest elections has been their virus, if you will.
Yeah.
It's been killing. It's right now killing a part of Western Europe for the globalists because you have people standing up to these policies. We even had their climate change. A scam has had a big hole poked in it too. When what was it? The Microsoft guy, Bill Gates, stepped out and said, "All right, well, I do admit that
Yeah.
climate change isn't really threatening our well-being and lives, not threatening the world," because they were lying all along.
Yes.
Look, I agree
We
with
knew
Quincy
it.
the Owl. We shouldn't pollute, right? But come on.
Yeah, I mean, and what I hate about that is that it ridicules all of the honest efforts. There's things like okay, I've never fallen for the climate change thing, but I remember saying, but we do know that there is a big cloud of plastic in the ocean, and you know who got started on cleaning up that big cloud of plastic? Good
Who would
old
that be?
Orange Man, and he'll
Yeah.
never get 1 ounce of credit for it.
He won't get credit for anything.
No.
Look, I mean, he has stopped wars. He has. I understand the Israel Hamas thing is still a little bit delicate, and Israel had to kind of come down.
I
That's
wouldn't hold
something
my
different.
breath on that one.
Right? We're not. Yeah, we're not sure that's because America. It didn't last.
No,
It's
it
back
didn't.
on.
Yeah.
This is going to be more on again, off again than Ross and Rachel.
I wish I didn't know what you were talking about.
I know. I wish I didn't bring that up.
I'm ashamed.
But what's happening is people are standing up to the globalists, and they're doing it from small packets to independent journalists, and now the New World Order is fighting back. Did you hear Barack Obama talk recently at I guess it's called the
I'd rather
Connecticut
not.
Forum? Yeah, well, I know we try not to, but you have to keep an eye on these people because,
True.
as they always say, keep your friends close and
He
your
did
enemies
run the
closer.
country for the last 4 years. Yeah.
Well, I want you to get a load of what he just said at this forum.
Part of what we're going to have to do is to start experimenting with new forms of journalism and how do we use social media in ways that reaffirm facts, separate facts from opinion. We want diversity of opinion. We don't want diversity of facts.
Here we go.
This is a guy
That, I
that
think,
destroyed
is
Smith-Mundt.
one of the big tasks of social media. By the way, it will require some government, I believe, some government regulatory constraints.
State-run media to make sure the talking.
We already have that.
From the New
And
World
thanks
Order.
to him, too, with his
Right.
Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, which Trump needs to reverse. Bring back Smith-Mundt. No propaganda.
Here's the problem. The Democrats, the left, the globalists are working their damnedest to try to control media around the world.
Mhm.
It's a little more difficult in the U.S. in a free country like ours, but let's look at Britain. Britain
Done
has
a mighty
state-run
good
media.
job of it.
The U.S. has state-run media in NPR and PBS at this point, or at least it had state-run media. But
Yeah, I mean, it's all state-run now. You turn on the regular. I haven't watched CNN in years, and I was in the lobby waiting for somebody, and they had CNN on, and I could not believe what I was hearing. Things that I knew were absolutely false, and it's like, and this is what people watch. I mean, my sister's always saying to me, you can't blame people for hating Trump. They've been told all these lies about him.
yes.
And I can, though. I don't know. I guess I was blessed with a pretty good BS meter. And I mean, like COVID immediately didn't smell right. I just think at this point, if you can't see that the news media is lying to you, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I
Even
don't
your
know how to
cat
help
knows.
you.
Yeah, even the cat knows.
The cat definitely knows.
Yeah, cats have real PTSD.
I mean,
definitely
if my
that.
cat does a trick and I give the other cat the treat, she knows that's wrong. So
Yeah.
she's too smart for communism.
Yes, as most people are. However, I want to give you one more thing. We do have our guest, Robert Spencer, coming in just a few moments, but I do want to give you this and we'll get your thoughts. And, Robert, I want your
How
thoughts on
long
this
do you
too
think
before we
it's
go
been
into your
since
book. So before we go
she
into
washed her hair?
lefties are getting ready for this mass blackout where they want to quit work for a week and not buy anything, not do anything. And here's their plan. I want you to hear this.
I heard there was a boycott being planned, and I am all in.
I know you weren't about to scroll, as I'm about to tell you the most important piece of information of the day.
A mass blackout is planned November 22nd to December 2nd. A few organizations got together like Blackout America, May Day, Sick Day, and Big Beautiful Boycott. They did this one day last month and it was successful. So this time we're doing it for a whole. This is a people-powered movement, and I can get behind this. It's like a pushback towards fascism, greed, lies, consumerism. Somebody said we are not powerless and we should decide where our money goes, and I agree.
Oh, here you go. What she's saying is these liberals are gonna skip work for a week, not bother buying anything, and try to say, hey, we're gonna show you. Well, the fact is, the only thing that they're gonna show us is that workplaces are gonna be more efficient without them. Nobody's gonna notice that they're not at any stores or doing anything because usually they're behind the keyboard making fun of Trump.
I watched this fail in California. We had. And I hate to even say the name of it because it sounds racist and I don't want to put down a whole people, but we had a day without a Mexican and everything went so smoothly. There was no traffic. There was no crime.
Without a Mexican.
What I would like is a day without Mamdani, if you will. And I'm glad we have Robert Spencer here because, and Robert, you're always one of our favorite guests. Tony's going to try to pop in hopefully in a little bit, but we have you here. So let's talk about this new book, The Selling of Zoran Mamdani, Intifada on the Hudson. This guy comes out of You know where this guy got famous? He got famous screaming and yelling at some kind of podium at the same anti-ICE rally that Lorena McIver was trying to smack around an ICE agent and learned what happens when she faffos, as the kids say. So let's get into it. Robert, can you hear us?
It's being sold like detergent. That's what the subtitle is all about, The Selling of Zoran Mamdani. He's one of many, actually. There's AOC was one of the most prominent and the first. And then there's Omar Fateh in Minneapolis. There are others around the country, and they all fit the same template. They're socialists. They're actually communists. They are, as Muslims, whenever they can find a Muslim to run, they are of immigrant background, non-white, so they represent the left's idolization of diversity, which of course means any kind of diversity except that of thought. They all think the same way, and they're being marketed as the alternative to Trump, who's supposedly the elitist, and they're the ones taking care of the common people, which means government control of everything.
I want to get to this endorsement from Mandy Patinkin. A lot of prominent Hollywood types are funneling money into
celebritards,
and there's a reason for that, though. Too. His mommy is a big Hollywood producer. She produced that god awful rap video that where he praises the people who funneled money into Hamas under the guise of aid. Then we hear Mandy Patinkin, who was a Jewish actor who's absolutely ecstatic about endorsing this Mamdani character. Let's watch.
Rolling.
Okay, we've got until Tuesday, and don't take anything for granted, right?
No, I've never taken you for granted. I'm not taking this for granted. We are going to win this because we have this extraordinary human being.
Wait a minute, extraordinary? I'm sorry, but I think you're not using that word how it means.
Spoiled rich boy.
What did Cuomo and Fleetwood kill Inigo Montoya's father?
Look at Mamdani's face.
He's like, don't touch me. Don't
The
touch me.
Jew is touching me, but I have to pretend that I don't mind.
Oh, how many showers did he take after that?
In all
I'm going to teach you
seriousness,
how to eat rice with my hands.
it's absolutely true. In all seriousness, Mamdani is a 12er Shiite Muslim, and the 12er Shiites consider Jews to be so unclean that about 100 years ago, it was illegal for Jews to go outside in the rain in Iran because a raindrop might bounce off them and hit a Muslim and make him unclean. And so I would not be in the least surprised if that's exactly what this guy's thinking right now. I can't believe it. Now I'm unclean and I have to go take the ritual bath, the wudu, and make myself clean again.
And
Wow.
I wonder if Mandy even recognized or noticed that he shook hands with him using his left hand.
He did?
I'm sure he would have to.
Did
Wouldn't he?
Mandy?
Because he uses that right hand to eat. No, that's what you do.
Hey-o.
You
That-
shake
that
the
deserves
hand
a
of the
hey-o.
kafir using the hand that you wipe your ass with.
Well, I can see it. Did they shake hands in the video here? I didn't watch
It's true.
I know it's true, Cindy. I know it's true. I know that is
The
true.
Alliance of the Traveler.
Oh
Is it
yeah, I know
True or
that.
Hadith?
But I mean, do they shake hands in the video? I got to see this.
Yeah. That.
Robert, in your opinion, and through your research on this Mamdani character, Memkami, I call him Memkami. I'm just going to keep calling him that, okay? Through your
Me
research
too.
on this and his supporters, why are very prominent, wealthy Jewish influencers, if you will, like Potemkin, supporting a guy like this who has done photo ops with 9/11 conspirators?
Yes.
Acting ain't rocket science.
Yeah, they're not thinking. They know that they're on the left side, and that anything the left does is good, and Trump is bad. This guy hates Trump, and he's on the left. He must be good. The other stuff, that's just right-wing propaganda.
Mm-hmm. And we must embrace Islam.
Yeah.
Because think how awful his poor auntie felt.
The real
Now, Robert, you live on the East Coast. Remember after 9/11, did we see people afraid to wear hijabs? Or did we see far more hijabs than we ever saw on 9/10?
This was just a total psyop. Even George W. Bush warned about being bad to people who wore hijabs on September 17th, 2001, 6 days after the attack, when he went to a mosque to say Islam was peace. The rest of his talk was all about the don't be mean to women wearing hijab. That was a big theme, and yet it never actually happened.
No.
Every case of it, and I've covered these at Jihad Watch, every case of it has been shown to have been faked. Right when Trump was elected the first time in 2016, in January 2017, there was a girl on the New York subway, and she said that MAGA guys had come and torn off her hijab and spat at her and such, and the whole subway car did nothing. And I thought, yeah, and they not only did nothing, nobody stopped to film it, even though everybody films everything today. And so no evidence of it. It turned out later she was totally lying. She was out late with her boyfriend and was afraid her father was going to get mad at her. So she
And
made
an honor killer.
Yeah. Tawana Brawley Light. That's what it was. Absolutely.
Yeah, and also the least persecuted group in America are Muslims, but the most persecuted are Jews. Who's doing the persecuting? I mean, Jewish persecution went up after 9/11. This feeling of emboldenment, empowerment.
Are taught that in the Quran that the Jews are their worst enemies.
Yeah.
So usually it's them. And the reason why there's more anti-Jewish attacks in the United States now is because there are more Muslims in the United States. And also because the left has become more and more openly anti-Semitic.
It's Islam. Well, can't see my shirt. It's fight Islamunism. They joined.
You bring up an interesting question, because what you see in New York City is an interesting marriage between Islamism, if you will, or the Islamists, and the communists, the Marxist types. Kind of, if you mix them all up together, they're kind of forming an alliance to vote for this Mamdani character. One side not really knowing about the other side all that much. The fact is, this guy encompasses both. I also can tell you that he will be lying through his teeth. He thinks it's morally okay to lie through his teeth. John Quincy Adams had warned us back when he was president to watch out for the spread of Islam, and the leaders, those who they're allowed to. Let's put it this way: he warned that the Quran says it's okay to lie to somebody you're negotiating with if they're infidels, and according to Mamdani, all of us are infidels. The four of us sitting here are infidels, according to him. He can lie to people in New York City and morally justify that and pull whatever he wants when he gets into office.
Yeah. We'll be lucky if all he does is communism.
Yeah. Did you happen to hear the interview that Cuomo did? I think it was on CNN just recently about Mamdani and Trump. Cuomo saying Trump wants Mamdani to win, so he can arrest him and take control over New York.
See, that's just the
it's kind of crazy what's really going on. They're attacking each other, and they're not getting nowhere.
Yeah, but this is the kind of hysteria that makes people think that it's not even worth trying to resist Mamdani because Cuomo's going to be just as bad, and Cuomo will be bad if he were to be elected in many ways. The idea that he's preferable to anybody just shows how far the Democrat Party has sunk. But the idea that Mamdani is going to get arrested or deported, these are pipe dreams. There's no way this is going to happen. You know, Trump talks about wanting to have some more of the people who tried to set him up and frame him for crimes arrested, and he can't even manage that.
Yeah.
Except for some of the low-level people. Mamdani, actually, you know, you could try to make a case that he lied when he became a citizen because he actually supports terror groups, but it would be a very tenuous case because he always has weasel words. He always has ways to get around it, and it would just be seen as like Cuomo was saying, as, oh, here's the fascist dictator trying to destroy his opposition. And I doubt that Trump would want to pay that political price for that.
Recent polls are saying that Mamdani is losing his grip on the lead here, and Cuomo is catching up. I also explained on another program that I host that there is a path to victory for Curtis Sliwa. Let's put that part aside. What do you make of these recent polls that are saying Mamdani is losing power? When all these things are coming out, he lied about his aunt on after September 11th with the whole the fake fear thing. He palled around with people who were co-conspirators of the 9/11 attacks. These things are coming out, and we're seeing subsequently, and it was slowly but surely, these polls are coming down for him. I'm not one to always believe polls, though, Robert. So let's see. What do you think about this?
Actually, I think Cuomo's got a real good chance of winning, and that's because of two things. One is the Orthodox Jews in New York generally do not respond to polls. And so they are just not counted in the polling results, which means that it's always not as bad as it looks because they are certain to be opposing Mamdani. And so Cuomo has more support than it looks as if he has. Also, the more Mamdani talks, the less appealing he seems. He's been marketed as Obama, the new Obama, the bright, young, appealing immigrant, Muslim, socialist. He's going to give us everything we want, and we're not going to have to pay a dime. And the more he talks, the more obvious it shows that that's a shell game, that it's false. He's going to raise taxes to these prohibitive levels such that New Yorkers are essentially going to be wards of the state if he gets away with it and not have any money, disposable income whatsoever. And he's going to, and he is increasingly hateful and dishonest. And so, this is going to continue. Whether it will continue enough to actually result in his defeat is not certain, of course, but it well could. And just needs to keep talking, and fewer people will vote for him.
There's another demographic or psychographic, if you will, that doesn't respond to polls. These are people like us who are busy. When we see a pollster or a number we don't know, we on the caller ID, we just ignore it. If we pick up the phone and say, "I'm taking a poll," nope, click, that's it. There's a whole bunch of us. That's who voted for Donald Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. That is what we're going to see in 2026. I do believe that particular faction could put some votes in for Cuomo and many for Sliwa, which offers Sliwa a chance for victory or a path to victory only if the Democrat vote is split right down the middle. And I'm saying he does have a path to victory because, well, here's what I have. I have Curtis Sliwa got 27% of the vote against Eric Adams. That beats his 24% of the vote when nobody bothered campaigning for him or helping him out with as far as the Republicans are concerned. In the what was it 20? No, it was that was compared to Meliatakis not getting a lot of votes in 2017, and Ray Loda's absolutely pathetic showing of less than 25% in 2013. The Republicans in New York City have been dead. They have done nothing. They're partially to blame for the rise of socialism in New York because they never put up a fight anymore. If somebody last minute decided to put some advertising into Sliwa, there's a chance for his victory. On the other hand, what are you seeing here?
30% of the vote he could get.
Yeah.
That's better than 27 that he got last time or against Adams.
Right.
So 30% of the vote, that leaves 70 for the other two. That's one of them's going to get 36 and the other 34. And
right,
he's going to be mayor. I just don't see it. Maybe
there's a puncher's chance.
30, but I think 30 is generous already. He
has a puncher's chance.
There are a lot of people who are going to vote for him because they're afraid of Mamdani, and that's fine. That's great. I'm all for it. I hope he becomes mayor. It's just I don't see it adding up. Maybe we'll see.
It's a slim chance. It's a slim chance, but there has to be
enough.
enough.
Get out of the race.
No, Sliwa should not get out of the race.
No, he's not dropping out. Curtis is not dropping out. That's for sure.
Right. I'm not happy.
That's for sure. He's not dropping out.
I'm not happy with John Catsimatidis and the people at ABC trying to push him out of the race too. This is the guy who was probably the best choice of the three to become mayor. Let's just say, if Zohran Mamdani's polls weren't or his reach wasn't going down, well, let's put it this way: if we see a 33-33 split, or let's say a 30-30 split when it comes to the voting for Mamdani and Cuomo, that's it. Sliwa could sneak in with a 35% of the vote if, in fact, enough people who weren't voting over the last many years decide to get up and vote for him. That's a possibility too. But again, Robert, you're right. It's a very slim chance, but there is a path to victory, a puncher's chance to victory, if you will.
Well, the thing is, I just don't see him making any positive campaign. Maybe I'm missing it, but it seems like he and Mamdani in the debates attacked Cuomo, and it was so one-sided from Sliwa that people were asking him, "What are you doing? Why aren't you attacking Mamdani?
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get Mamdani elected here?" And Cuomo's an easy target. There's no doubt about it. But Sliwa ought to recognize the danger that Mamdani poses.
Well, here's an issue. When Nicole Meliatakis ran, I'm going to go back to this because her office was next to a place that I was producing a radio show. I saw her as a good candidate. The problem is the Republicans never put real money behind her. They didn't give her anybody to coach her when it came to debating de Blasio when she was viciously slaughtered by de Blasio. They didn't put any resources behind it. The Republicans in New York City have all but rolled over and died. Had they fought over the last couple of elections, we might have seen a possibility for a Republican victory with a split Democrat vote. But again, I lay this all on the feet of the city Republicans if Mamdani wins.
I'd agree. Republicans have not been fighting anywhere.
So let's go to your book again, because this is fascinating. Watching the rise of Zohran Mamdani from just a niche politician, somebody who was kind of an afterthought for a long time. This guy and I think it should be reiterated more than once. And by the way, the book is Intifada on the Hudson, the selling of Zoran Mamdani. This guy has a plethora of out-of-city money behind him.
Oh yeah, big
And
Soros.
that's illegal.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
It's only
It's
illegal
not?
if you have a leftist Justice Department prosecuting patriots for it. It's not illegal if a leftist does it. In any case, yeah, he's got lots of the Open Society Foundation, the Council on American Islamic Relations, and others. They've funneled big money into his campaign. They really want this. They've propped him up. He was nobody, really, as the book shows. The guy's got the thinnest resume you can imagine. If I were his parents, I would think, well, I'm glad you're actually trying to get a real job now, because you're 34 and it's the first time.
Yes. You don't realize what a pampered little princess this guy is.
Be a rapper. I mean, he's got multimillionaire parents. He lived a life of privilege. He tried to be a rapper, and that failed. And his rap was all about how Muslims are victims in New York, and his aunt got harassed on the train. By the way, he didn't just start saying this recently. He's been saying this for years. And then he became a manager of several failed socialist campaigns. He worked in some leftist local grassroots advocacy groups or AstroTurf advocacy groups. And that was it. That's all he's done. And so, and then he was a New York State Assemblyman for the last 4 years. He hardly did anything there, as Cuomo has pointed out more than once.
Right, he did nothing.
The guy's never done anything. And that also raises the question, is he really going to be the mayor? Or are there far left shadowy figures who are going to be running things while he's the front man?
Robert, some moron videoed this guy yammering on about whatever kind of injustice he decided to make up, and that's how he became sort of famous during that Lorena McIver moment, I guess you will. She was probably thinking, "This is my moment. I can run for governor of New Jersey after all this." Now nobody cares about her, and everybody's paying attention to Mamdani. Look, he's handsome. He is the Sadiq Khan light of New York, or maybe even Sadiq Khan worse. The fact is, he is going to pull the silver tongue on the left. I would like to ask you, though, if different from Mamdani and his Islamism, and the young people there who seem to be fairly well off, or they would be in other places, are falling for this brand of socialism for some reason. What do you think is enticing a lot of the Gen Z and millennial vote towards a Mamdani?
Well, they're told that socialism is the best system. I mean, they've been told that in the schools, in the colleges and universities for decades now. And the left's long march through the institutions has made it such that they come out of there thinking, oh, socialist, oh, that's good. We need to get rid of this evil capitalism. All their professors are socialists, and they haven't been taught about the gulags and all that. And so they hear this guy's a socialist and they think, great. So in a certain way, Mamdani is the result of decades of indoctrination, and he is the fruit of it. That this is the kind of person that half of the electorate or more idolizes. That he's not white, he's not American, he's not Christian, he's not a capitalist. He is against all those things, and that's just what the left loves.
I want to toss this to everybody here. Another little component for the attraction that young voters in New York may have for Mamdani is a lot of these kids don't know anything about September 11th. Some were 5, 4, 3. Others weren't even born yet. So it's nothing to them. It's almost like, let's just say, I don't know, the Lusitania was to us, if you will. So yeah. I believe that's a factor, right?
Well, they learned what probably most of the young people in New York learned was that there was an attack by extremists on September 11th. And those extremists are not Muslims. And if you think they're Muslims, you're Islamophobic. And Islamophobia is the worst thing that happened after 9/11, that Muslims were victimized like Mamdani's aunt, supposedly. And so that's what they learned, that the biggest victims of 9/11 were Muslims, and that we have to guard against Islamophobia. So here comes this Muslim candidate saying exactly that. And they think, great, this is just what I learned. This is just what I know to be true. And they go for it. and that just it's even better that he's not only a Muslim but a socialist.
And we need more movies about what it's like when communism takes over. They need to reissue Dr. Zhivago.
Well, they're all communists now, so they're not going to make those movies.
Yeah, exactly. And this did happen. The McCarthyism was real, but he actually was right. And my parents were a part of it, and some well-known actors who I won't name were trying to get my mom and dad to come with them to the communist meetings. But you see, my father actually was a rocket scientist, and he couldn't be fooled by that. They thought communism was really stupid. But it's like this posh thing, and once again, it still is. And in Hollywood, it's still very posh because it's it makes everything equal. Yeah, everybody's equally poor and equally dead.
But it appeals to their sense of justice.
Yeah.
That they think, oh, that's fair. That's what we need. Everybody gets the same amount. That sounds wonderful and equitable. They never think about how it's going to work, or what happens to those who resist, or how it's all going to be paid for.
Yeah, how it gets paid for.
About that.
Yeah,
Who does?
and most of these people don't understand. Anybody could go and say they want to be a mayor, they want to be this. They'll promise this, they'll promise that, but they have no control over that they're actually going to get it done. They're like the puppet. It's the higher up controlling what gets done, what doesn't get done. That's what people don't understand. They're so brainwashed from the news, watching it over and over and over and over and over again all day, that they become brainwashed, and that's the problem in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the thing is, Kami knows he can't do any of these things. He knows it, and it's in failing that's what he's hoping for, because his goal is to bring New York down.
Yeah, well, that's what he's a chaos agent, and that's what they do. Not like Get Smart, but chaos in the
Oh yes,
he is. He wants to destroy the city, and people might think that's crazy right-wing hysteria or something, but actually think about it. That's what communists do. That's how they take power. They destroy the.
That's how Islam takes power,
and then institute their own. And that's also how Islam works. They destroy the existing system and impose their own, and they're both authoritarians as well. So it's clear that he wants New York destroyed. He's promising all this free stuff that he'll never be able to pay for unless he actually has prohibitive tax rates that destroy the entire economy of New York, drive all the weak people of any means out, and bankrupt the city, and then he'll blame Trump for not bailing them out.
Well, maybe what he'll do is raise congestion pricing and try to pull that off. That's another issue we can talk about altogether. I still say that we'll have to do another show about this, because I still say that New York's little Manhattan zone is being turned into one of those experimental 15-minute cities, the 60th Street and down. That's why they're continuing to thin out and recongest traffic even more, so they can make more excuses, getting cars off more of the streets. It's getting worse. And then again, before I fall into this particular rabbit hole, I do want to say New York City is going to fail miserably if Zohran Mamdani, and this is not even a panic button, it's not even a panic mode. If Zohran Mamdani has, or in any way wields power, he does have a very serious far left contingent in the city council there too. That's important. He and a lot of the people on the left, heck, most people on the far left, believe they have a moral obligation to lie to us to gain power, because they are all on the moral high ground, whether it's Saul Alinsky who says that, or whether it's the Quran who says that.
Yep.
These are real threats to America moving forward.
Yeah, people don't realize that if Mamdani gets in, say goodbye to your property value, say goodbye to everything. I mean, I hear a lot of people move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I see California is a disaster zone.
Well,
that's how I look at it.
Talk about your 15-minute cities. That's what Navin Gruesome is going for in the areas that were burned.
Yeah.
So one more thing about the book, Robert, tell us a little more about the book and where people can get it.
The book discusses how Mamdani was raised, what he thinks, what he's done. It gives you really everything you need to know about this guy, and you do need to know it. You might think, well, I don't live in New York. It doesn't have anything to do with me. But what he does in New York is going to have reverberations around the country. He could let in terrorists from Iran.
He will.
He's palled around with them.
Assassination squads in the U.S. before. He could let them in, turn a blind eye. They could wreak havoc in the United States. Anyway, any number of things could happen. It's all in the book. And the book is at Amazon and wherever fine books are sold right now.
That's right. Not crappy books, where the fine books are sold.
Only the good one. Yeah.
That's right.
Bookstores that say, we only sell good books. And they'll have
I have a question, if I may.
Yeah.
I want to get it. I'm thinking Robert might know. What has happened with the efforts to declare the Muslim Brotherhood a terrorist organization?
the same thing that always happens. It gets stalled and people stop talking about it. The press, the news cycle moves elsewhere and it gets buried. And this is because the Muslim Brotherhood's been infiltrating the U.S. government at every level for decades. They got very high-level people and friends all over the government. And they are talking right now, today as we speak, saying to Senator this or Congressman that, you don't really want to support this bill. You want to not have the Muslim Brotherhood be a terrorist organization. We need to have dialogue instead, blah, blah, blah. And it'll just die. It always has. It always will.
Yeah, I'll never forget Ann Coulter and you, Mr. Spencer, Robert, had warned us during the so-called Arab Spring that, there's going to be an uprising. We're not going to see theocracies anymore, Islamism in the Middle East. BS. These people who are rising up, if you will, were part of or at least engineered by the Muslim Brotherhood. And thank goodness for you guys saying, whoa, hold on to this. You got to look up these guys. So we have to keep spreading the word about that too.
Yeah. When Obama said they're aiming for democracy, I went, uh-oh.
Obama said that.
Uh-oh.
That's why he's a media.
Obama's responsible for a great deal of it. He loves the Muslim Brotherhood. He aided and abetted it when he made his apology speech about how bad the U.S. is and how wonderful Islam is in Cairo in 2009. Yeah. He insisted they had Muslim Brotherhood guys right in the front row.
They were in the front row. Yeah, they had been banned from Egypt prior to that.
Well, look, the Democrats are the only people who can endorse and run people who pal around with terrorists. They're also the only party who can endorse and run people who wear Nazi tattoos boldly on their chests and claim, "Oh, you didn't know it was a Nazi tattoo." This tattoo was something was something SS members preferred to wear, and it was something that what was it? That it was the name of the guards who guarded the concentration camps. You don't put it. He had this massive Nazi tattoo, and bore it on his bare body in the middle of what we would call a safe space podcast called Pod Save America. This man, what was his name? Graham Plattner, who was a candidate for Senate on the Democrat side, of course, in Maine, said and tried to convince us that he didn't know what it was. I'm sorry, you rail against Israel for a long time, especially in the fight against Hamas, and you wear this in a proud far-left podcast on video, showing everybody your little dog whistle, and now stepping back and saying, "I didn't know what it was." Let's hear him.
At that point, I don't want something like that on my body. That is going to make people think I have any kind of ideological similarity to something that is essentially so antithetical to my politics.
I think you're lying. You wear something that big, you go on a podcast that rails against Israel at the same time, you show it off, you knew what you were wearing. And by the way, doesn't he look a little Aryan to you? Bob, Susan, Vinny, thank you very much for being here on S Files Live, our podcast. And I got to tell you, you got to be here too. And I did want to highlight this pretty cool this comment from Elizabeth. No, Mamdani is not.
No,
handsome.
He is not.
Right.
Especially when he's eating with his hands. And you know that guy was raised with utensils. You know that his parents did not eat with their hands.
No, you're right. You're right about that, Sue. You're right about that.
What is the cat's name? I should have asked this before.
You know, I have no door on my loft, so and she loves men. Her name is Bellatrix.
So she doesn't like soy.
The other cat is terrified of.
She doesn't like soy-filled liberals. She just likes men, right?
Yeah.
Robert, thank you very much. We hope to have you on again real soon. And let's continue this. We are going to have a very special overnight. Well, I'm not saying overnight. Late night election night live stream here on the S Files with Tony. We have me, Cherise on, Vinny, Susan.
Cool.
Robert, you're welcome to talk about this. We're going to be following.
Yes.
If you'd like to, we'd love to have you all on. It's going to be a nice random discussion with a lot of people and some of our friends from Project Snow. Nice revolving door. So you're all invited.
Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, thank you all for being there. We'll see you on election night and next Wednesday here on the S Files. And please hit the like button, spread the word, show it to everybody you know, and subscribe to us.